Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, unable to move, feeling a weight pressing down on your chest, while something unseen breathes inches from your face? What if I told you that the thing pinning you down didn't break in through the door, didn't crawl through the window, but slipped inside through the smallest opening in your room, through the keyhole? Tonight, I'll tell you about a spirit known as the Mare, and what happened when one family tried to seal every entrance except one. But before we go further into the dark, subscribe to the 60-second scare. It costs nothing, and it gives me the motivation to create more such horror stories for you. Now lock your door and check the keyhole. It began with nightmares. Not ordinary nightmares, calculated ones. Elena had always feared drowning. Not water exactly, but the helplessness of sinking. One night she woke up, or thought she did, unable to move. Her room was dark, yet she could see clearly. Water dripped from the ceiling. The walls began to swell. Her mattress softened beneath her as if it were floating. And then she felt it. Weight. Cold. Heavy. Something perched on her chest. She couldn't scream. She couldn't breathe fully. And just before she slipped back into unconsciousness, she heard the faintest metallic scrape near the bedroom door. In the morning, Elena found nothing unusual, except one thing. The brass keyhole on her old wooden door looked polished, as if something had passed through it. Her husband dismissed it. Sleep paralysis, he said. Stress. But the next night, it was his turn. His greatest fear? Failure. Public humiliation. He woke to find himself standing in a courtroom filled with faceless figures. They whispered his name, judging, laughing. And in the gallery, seated calmly with its legs folded, was a thin, shadowed figure with elongated limbs, watching him, smiling without teeth. He woke, gasping, unable to move, the same crushing weight pressing down, the same metallic scrape from the door. An old folklorist in town heard their story and turned pale. He whispered of the Mare, a spirit that does not break in. It enters through the smallest openings, keyholes, cracks, unsealed vents. It seeks sleepers, studies their anxieties, and then sits upon their chest, feeding not on flesh, but on fear. The Mare does not invent nightmares. It extracts them, personalizes them, sharpens them, and grows heavier each night. Determined, Elena sealed the keyhole with tape, covered it with cloth, even pushed furniture against the door. They slept with lights on. 2:03 a.m., both awoke at the same time, paralyzed. The lights flickered out, and there it was, perched between them. Its body thin as smoke, its limbs folded unnaturally, its face almost human, but stretched too long. It tilted its head, as if listening to their thoughts. And then the room shifted. Elena was underwater again. Her husband stood before the courtroom again, but this time the Mare moved closer in each nightmare. Closer, heavier, breathing slower, as if savoring. In the morning, the tape over the keyhole had fallen. Not torn, not disturbed, simply loose. And inside the keyhole, something glistened. A thin, black residue, cold to the touch. The folklorist returned and said something worse. The Mare does not need an opening once invited. Invited? You feared, he said. You focused. You believed. And belief is the widest doorway of all. On the fifth night, they stayed awake, watching the door. At exactly 2:03 a.m., the keyhole darkened. Not from shadow, from depth. It stretched inward, impossibly long, like a tunnel. And from that darkness, something thin began to thread through. Not forced, flowing, like smoke poured through a needle's eye. The mare emerged slowly, unfolding into the room. It didn't rush. It didn't need to, because they were already frozen, already afraid. It settled upon Elena's chest, but this time she forced herself to focus, not on fear, not on drowning, but on her daughter's laughter, on warmth, on light. The mare twitched, its weight faltered, its elongated smile flickered, and for a brief second, it looked uncertain. The paralysis broke. The creature recoiled, folding inward, retreating through the keyhole like shadow pulled by gravity. The keyhole returned to normal, but the residue remained. If this story made you shift uncomfortably in your seat, wait until what's coming next. In the coming days on the 60-second scare, I'll tell you about the Lamashtu Nursery, a mother who discovers something ancient watching over cribs at night, a hybrid goddess figure offering infants something dark and unnatural.